Good evening, class. This is my class discussion on the CASK of AMONTILLADO. From the beginning, we are told that we are going to receive foreshadowing right at the beginning of the story. The way we receive this is Montresor says that he is going to get revenge for being disrespected by Fortunato. When we hear this, this is the first foreshadowing that we receive. Fortunately, we overlook it because we don't think he means he's going to get murder. But as he does keep speaking on the subject, he does also say that he wants to get away with it. He doesn't want to be chased by any of the authorities. So we should actually look for the darkest outcome. But I did not. Probably many other readers did not. So the next scene that we move on to is they're having carnival, which is a nice little celebration. Everyone's having a good time. They're all wearing masks. Everyone's celebrating, having a good time. Montresor confronts Fortunato and he wants to lure him out with him into his home. Well, actually, his wines underground. And the way he does this is Montresor tells Fortunato that he has an Amadillo that he is going to present to him. The Amontillado is an actual type of wine that he is offering him. So, right after this, and when he finally convinces him to come with him and actually do a tasting of the wine of the Amontillado, we start hearing Fortunato coughing. When we hear this cough, Montresor says to him, because this is the next foreshadowing that we receive when we hear the coughing. Montresor says to Fortunato, "Hey, I don't think you should come with me to the caverns. You already have that nasty cough. You don't sound very healthy. I don't think you should come with us. I don't think we should do this today." And he says, "Oh, no, 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 no. We're going. I'm going to test, and I'm out." And so with that foreshadowing, we receive, hey, he's already sick. Fortunato's already sick. So this is something else that we should take a good looking at as we transfer on through the story. Right after he takes him to his wine cellar under his home, Montresor had told all of his people, his family, hey, stay where you at for the night. We do not need you coming down here bothering us while we try this Amontillado. Whole family says, cool, okay, we're not going to come. And Montresor relishes in this because it makes him feel smarter, wiser. And this is also another foreshadowing to him saying, look, he's doing a dirty deed. Because in the beginning, we were already told that he wanted to get away with it, which means he cannot have any witnesses, obviously. So then when he says that he wants his whole family to stay back here, it's like, why don't you care who comes? Well, that's a foreshadowing to, hey, I want to do something that nobody's paying attention to, nobody's watching. So then we move forward and we go on. And the next foreshadowing that we receive is how the walls are filthy. That Montresor starts speaking about how unclean and unhealthy it is for Fortunato to be down there. Now, remember, the first foreshadowing that we received was he said he was disrespected. Now, more than likely, I believe that he would have let Montresor would have let Fortunato go if he had simply just said, you know what, you're right. I am sick. I don't feel very healthy. I will go with you and leave. For him, I believe Montresor would have been like, you know what, this guy finally respected my thoughts and my way. And that would have probably been done with it. Unfortunately, freaking Fortunato had already said that he was the best wine taster and he knew everything about wines and he would know what an Amontillado tasted like. So as they keep traveling through these caverns, Montresor keeps telling Fortunato, hey, look, there's filth on these walls. You already got a horrible cough. Let's turn around. He says no. Fortunato says no. I'm going to get to taste this. So with that foreshadowing, the next foreshadowing comes right after that where he says this line. A mere cough is not going to kill me. Then Fortunato says that. Then Metrosesor says, you are correct about that. And it's just like, well, we have to remember, Metrosesor already had concocted everything that he was going to do to him tonight. So that was a foreshadowing that we received right there. For he said, you are not going to die from coughing. You are correct. You are going to die another way. So then they continue on. And as they continue on, they wind up bringing up a brand or a staple or some sort of symbol that's in the cavern where a man's foot is stomping on a snake and the snake bites his foot. This is a foreshadowing also because Fortunato asks his Metrosor, hey, what is this symbol that represents? And he is like, oh, well, it says Nemo me impune lasiste. And it's like, oh, all right then. Which means no one provokes me without impunity. So he has just told Metrosesor, when he speaks these lines, he told Fortunato, hey, no one disrespects me and gets away with it. He told him right there. Obviously, though, throughout the whole time, Fortunato's already drunk. And he also is like, look, man, he didn't even know that he had any sort of issues with him. So, by Metrosesor using this slogan, he actually told him straight up that, look, you disrespected me and no one gets away with it. Fortunato, not knowing anything, that he was even disrespecting him, completely ignores this warning and is just like, hey, I'm here to taste this AMONTILLADO. Let's do this. So they keep going forward. And at this point, they get to the bottom of the caverns and the catacombs. And within these catacombs, we receive a foreshadowing through the setting. The setting says that there is bones and bodies, and that the catacombs have the bodies in the walls. This is a foreshadowing to how Fortunato is going to be killed, and that he also winds up, as we know, getting put into the walls. Okay? So he will also join the rest of the other skeletons and bodies that lay within this cavern, within these catacombs. But then they wind up breaking out into a conversation downstairs, where at one point Fortunato says to Metrosesor, hey, look, you are not a Mason. For today, we all know about the Brotherhood of the Masons that are all secret. But during that time frame, nobody knew what the world the Masons were. But everyone knew that there was the job of the Masons who built your chimneys, built your house, built your little porch system, everything made out of bricks during that time period. So they're both confused, but they each also think that they know what they're talking about. For Fortunato is drunk and he says that he is of the club of the Masons. But then Metrosesor is actually a Mason of bricklaying. So he pulls out a trowel, which is used for laying down bricks. Okay? This is a foreshadowing for that he is actually going to lie bricks and cover them in the wall. This one's very hard to notice, though. I mean, I don't know why anybody would think that he would do that. We should have, once we notice him pull out a trowel. That one actually I did not know, but it's probably because we didn't know what a trowel is. But pushing forward, Metrosesor winds up walking Fortunato finally down the end of the corridor and chains him to the wall and says, hey, look, you're here, you're going to die now. He doesn't say these things, but this is how Metrosesor is viewing things through his mind, and he feels justified because, remember, he was disrespected, and he gave him multiple times to turn around and to at least show that he had given him some sort of chance to say, hey, you're right, I respect your opinion. At no point did Fortunato do this. All he cared about was proving once again that I'm smarter and that I know what AMONTILLADO tastes like, and I am going to show you, and I just want to enjoy my life. Well, Metrosesor is like, screw you, puts him in the wall, bricks him all up in there, and we have pretty much covered now all of the foreshadowings up to Montresor killing Fortunato. Uh, Within this discussion, as you know, there was supposed to be the cover of motif and theme, which I'll speak about now. The entire time, the motif and theme is supposed to be dark, uh, from Edgar Allan Poe, as you all know. And that is how he always was, dark. And right from the beginning, we are told that this story is going to be about vengeance. Throughout the entire story, we are told of how he, from Montresor's point of view, of how he is cunning. At the beginning, he tells him that he lied to him the entire time. Montresor lied to Fortunato about being disrespected. For when Montresor was disrespected, he kept it to himself. At no point did he tell Fortunato that he was disrespected. So he kept it quiet, and he kept it to himself, and he let it build up, so that when the day came that he would kill him, it would be much darker and he would not see it coming. So that's another dark motif and theme that's given to this story. Throughout the whole time, they said that it happened during a carnival or like a masquerade. They're all wearing masks to cover up their true emotions. So, that's give another freaking dark theme where people can't see who you are and what it's all about. Throughout the whole time, they're walking through dark caverns. And another, what is it? They also go through the catacombs. And throughout the whole time, we are literally watching Montresor be the stalker, the predator on his prey, which gives a very dark feel. No adventure or action feel to it. It's all dark and conniving, and all other dark emotions that you could feel are given throughout this. I chose to do this discussion with my YouTube video because I have to say, on a personal note, I never cared really much about Edgar Allan Poe. This was the first story that first home, or whichever one you wish to list it as, that I truly enjoyed from Edgar Allan Poe. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Good time. I hope this helps y'all out. Have a good day.